I'm Yash Taparia. I'm currently placed at Deloitte USI. My role involves as a consultant within the digital transformation space at Deloitte. Primarily, I'm within the SAP consulting space. I think when I looked at what Great Lakes had to offer, I already had 4 years of experience. With that, I just wanted to have the business acumen, business knowledge, and the network finally to grow ahead in my career. Great Lakes, with that 1 year program, fulfilled all of that criteria. So that's why I think the 1 year program made more sense comparatively to the 2 year program. I think the initial ones were very hectic. Once, when we got into our concentrations, we adjusted to it and things were quite okay then. But initially, things were quite hectic to manage. I didn't really have to put in a lot of effort. All I had to do was just show up to classes, show up to clubs and community events, because everything was already taking place there. Academics groups were there, community events were there, we had case competitions, and all of this automatically happened in the last 11 months. Time flew by. Even though you come from 4 years of work experience, you've been in the corporate culture, you've interviewed for colleges as well. That stress and that feeling of sitting for the interview never leaves you. I guess it was quite stressful, but then since it was short, the second company selected me. I feel the journey was just eventful, and I had fun preparing for my interviews, diverging into different cases, going in depth, solving them. It was a lot of fun, I feel. So, but in my third round at Deloitte, he asked me a very personal question. I didn't really have an answer for it. So to comment on the spot and then reflect. So my answer revolved around how I had persevered through my time at TCS, quit TCS without having a job in hand, and then joined Deloitte. So that perseverance, was the highlight, and that made me realize if I've been through that, I can win any of them in the future. So that was one definite highlight. Taking a pause, reflecting back on my journey, and then realizing how far I've come and how far I can go with that potential. In my work experience, I was quite restricted. I did not really have much involvement, in taking decisions. And with GLIM, being a part of academic groups, being a part of case comps, there are various opportunities. Even being part of a student council, there are various positions where I get to make decisions, see the application, and in real-time basis monitor. Whereas at my work experience, I was more of an associate who was processing and just passing on the information, passing on the data. Here with data, I get to make decisions and see what impact those decisions actually can create. So I think that definitely gives an edge. One of the courses that I feel really shaped the way drove my interview was the strategic management course in term 3 by Professor Suresh. I think his methodology of teaching with each one case in each class, and the lessons that I learned from all of those classes were a direct use case for my case solving abilities in all the interviews. That class really gave me an edge. One of the professors is Professor Vidya ma'am, who taught us economics in term 1. The way she taught in our classes used recent news to relate to concepts in economics was another thing that I learned. So during my interview also, I tried to find areas where I could collaborate with the current recent news cycle and relate to something that was being discussed in the interview. So I feel that also gave me an edge over the other interviewers who might not have been able to collaborate with what is currently going on in the news cycle with what the case is being asked from us. I think the cohort dynamic played a huge role in broadening my way of thinking and the way I've solved problems. For example, I have only been in a finance process associate roles. So when I came here, I interacted with my academic groups. I got more ideas of how marketing works in the real life, on how ideas are transformed. Similarly, we had someone who had a mechanical background. So with their industrial experience, they were able to guide me operations problems and how they were able to solve it live on the production floor. So that diverse background gives you different streams of knowledge, which I don't feel one can learn by sticking to one role at a particular company. Having worked in corporate already for 4 years, with respect to the culture fit, it wasn't really a challenge. You know how work environments work, so it worked pretty well. With respect to the case rounds, I think CCS already organizes a lot of sessions. You just need to practice cases on your own. We have case books, you have case competitions. When you start participating there, you get the flow of how cases need to be solved. First 3 terms are going to be very hectic. Recharge your batteries when you come to campus. But after that, once you're into your concentrations, you'll find your space, you'll know what to do, you'll figure it out. Don't take too much stress.